Alrighty, so you should have already completed this worksheet. If you haven't, pause now. It should be available in the classroom, but you should have done this prior knowledge check. And what we were looking into is your measurement skills. We'll be doing a lot of this in our different labs. We have to make sure that we can take measurements from our tools in a proper way and use those in calculations. The numbers you get out of these things are called measured numbers. These are going to come up a little bit later, but just keep that in mind. If it's a number you get from a measurement, I think that makes sense. So you should have measured each of these items. And if you didn't know, the liquid volume, the number you get from reading that beaker over here, or this graduated cylinder, which is this whole unit here is all one thing, is the volume. So that measurement you get in milliliters is a volume. And this is pure water we're looking at. So this cube, which I think I told you guys, if you didn't realize, this is a perfect cube. So all three sides are the same. So you can just take this measurement here and plug it into this formula and you multiply it by itself 3 times, or you cube it. That's why it's called x to the third power is cubed, because you multiply it by itself 3 times. It's the same as a cube. And you would get the volume that way. And since this is in centimeters, your answer should have been in centimeters cubed or millimeters cubed. So whenever you do multiplications with the units, we have to keep track of what you did with the units. So if you divided two things, let's say you divided a mass by a volume here, you would end up having grams over milliliters or whatever you ended up doing. So just keep that in mind. The other little trick, and I didn't say this, and I want to see if anybody figured it out. Since this is pure water, there's a little trick we can use here. 1 milliliter of water, H2O, is equal to 1 gram of water. So this number is actually given to you is the volume of that water. So it's a little sneaky way. What I want you to realize is all of the measurements you get from these things are different. And we're going to talk about why that's important later. Right now, what I want you to realize is I've lied to you in our earlier discovery activity. So you're going to have to tell me how I lied to you. And that's going to be part of the mastery check at the end of all this. So we're going to look into line numbers and measurements. So if we make a mistake, and it was in this specific activity, the last part of it, when you worked on these numbers yourself, not the demonstration side of these, and part of that you'll have to explain to me why is the earlier one correct, and this example I lied. So in order to figure out what I did wrong, what you're going to need to know is what are significant figures, and what is a measured number, which I just told you, and what is an exact number, and how are these two things different. And part of that, I already kind of hinted that there are line numbers in our measurements. What is a line number? So this is what you're going to dive into in the next couple activities. Just want to get you ready, have those kind of stewing around in your brain.